Us in the studio right now is a man who we spoke to like at the very, very start, the first flicker of the flame of the Stoke-on-Trent for City of Culture 2021 bid. Mr. Paul Williams is in the studio. Hello, Paul.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Chris, and hello to you, Spike.
How are you, Paul? How are you after this weekend?
I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm looking forward to the challenge of the next 12 weeks. And I think finally having had the weekend to really reflect on the craziness of Friday, which led up to the announcement that we were on the shortlist, it's for real.
Yeah, I think obviously a couple of media organisations knew before the 10:30 because it was embargoed before 10:30, so then everybody would find out together. And it's 6 towns we knew about when that got sent out originally, and the excitement that I felt when I heard about that, it was like no other. And we are joined by Coventry, Paisley, Sunderland and Swansea in the final, but Stoke-on-Trent, we've done it, mate. We've done it. We set out to be. You said originally we wanted to get shortlisted. That's the target right now, is to be shortlisted. We've done that. We now push on,
and that's the right way to have gone about it. I said from when we first started talking about putting in a bid to be UK City of Culture, that we had to play the game smarter and not run away with ourselves. I think if we look too far ahead and we assumed we were going to win, and we miss the point initially, which was to get on the shortlist. You cannot win the UK City of Culture competition if you don't make the shortlist. So playing smarter was to focus everything we did about making sure that our first stage submission, that sort of 30-page initial bid addressing 29 questions, what we had to do is to say, right, focus, and make sure we get on the shortlist.
So we are shortlisted, and that is obviously that next stage done, that tick off the box. The next one, you said before, it would have been short-sighted to go out and say, right, we're going to go on and win this, but surely now that's the view from everybody, not just the people behind the bid, but everybody in Stoke. The view is to now, we're going to go out and we are in it to win it now.
And again, that is absolutely the right approach to take. It's game on, I think, has so boldly been proclaimed over the weekend. We are absolutely in it to win it. We have a 1 in 5 chance. Of course, 5 cities now going through to the final stage. So we have a 1 in 5 chance of winning. It's about strengthening up everything that's already in that initial bid to make sure that 1 in 5 chance becomes significantly greater in our favour.
So what's the next stage? So we are in the shortlist. What happens from now for the bid for the city? Where do we go from here?
Okay, well, we obviously come together again as a bid team. We review the plans that we'd already had in place. Even once we'd submitted our initial bid on the 29th of April, the work did not stop. We had to anticipate being on the shortlist because there is no time to hit the ground running from now to submit your final bid at the end of September. So we've continued to meet, we've continued to plan, we've continued to put in place the campaign element around the bid, and we have to do more of that. We have to rethink our marketing over the next 12 weeks to make sure that as we get closer and closer and closer to the submission of the final bid, we really ramp up the media engagement. We have to think about engagement more widely. And that's business engagement, making sure that those businesses that are already backing the bid, they now start to come forward more visibly in terms of, what does it mean back in the bid? What is the tangible sort of evidence that we've got the business community on board? But ultimately, and it's something we've talked about, Dan, this is a City of Culture bid for the city of Stoke-on-Trent by the people of Stoke-on-Trent. So we have to rethink again that community engagement element. How can we interpret and articulate our bid so that the people on every estate, in every community, across the entire city, they get it? If we can articulate it in the language that matters to them, and we can really say to them, this is a culture bid, and they get this thing called culture, then we're halfway there. We then clearly have to show the judges that we have brought the city with us along the way.
And how... Obviously, this is going deeper into the bid, and without giving too much away, just in case people are listening from the other bidding cities, how do you intend on doing that? Because there is, I've noticed, and a lot of people have commented that it has the city of Stoke-on-Trent has become a community in general. We are still 6 towns, but the pride and the togetherness has been more now than it ever has been since I've been in the city. How do you intend on to strengthen that, and how can people get involved if they want to?
Okay, just to come back to one thing, and I think I've said this on a number of occasions. The bid goes in the name of Stoke-on-Trent, and we keep talking about Stoke-on-Trent, 1 city, 6 towns, and that is right, and that's the approach we've taken in terms of developing the bid. But it's more than just Stoke-on-Trent, and I can't ignore the importance of Newcastle as part of our bid development. The work at the New Vic and Appetite and Keele University and the Brampton Museum and the Philip Astley project, they are huge elements in terms of strengthening up the bid that we will submit. But equally, as we keep calling it, a bid for Stoke-on-Trent, we invariably come back to the 6 towns. One of the things we've already started to develop is building on the work that Nick Grattan did. Nick Grattan works at the Creative Communities Unit at Staffordshire University. She's been leading the social and community group. She has engaged far and wide, and we're taking that further now. So there's a little project that we're calling SOT Together, SOT Together, Stoke-on-Trent Together, and that will be the way in which we now start to expand and reach out in a way that we, up until now, we haven't done to the various community groups. But there will be more sort of mass participation, community opportunities. There are things that we're already starting to put in place around the submission of the final bid. When we submitted the initial bid, you'll recall, Dan, because of course I saw you dancing in the city centre around the Something in the Water Duck. We had a big celebratory event in Hanley. The celebratory elements around the submission of the final bid will be community-wide, will be city-wide, so all 6 towns will have an opportunity to join in and celebrate as we submit the final bid.
And that is something which, again, I mentioned before, the togetherness is going to be a key thing as part of this bid. If people are listening and they want to get involved right now and backing the bid, how can they do that?
Well, the straightforward way, of course, is to go on to the SOT2021 website and to register their interest. But equally, they can get in touch with us through any number of means. We're happy to have conversations. The cultural programming group will continue to expand some of the sort of ambition around the cultural programme that we submitted, and that's where we might want to go out to people in this city. Not for 1 minute do we believe that we have the monopoly or the complete ownership of all the cultural ideas and the creativity in this. It is a wonderfully diverse, creative city, and I bet there are ideas out there that we still haven't captured. So if somebody does have the semblance of what might become a wonderful project initially, or a proposal initially that could be part of the bid, just let us know about it.
Let's go back to Friday when you found out that we were successfully shortlisted. You, alongside Abby Brown, you've been at the forefront of people's, when you think of the bid, you think, oh, Paul Williams, Abby Brown, you think of you two guys. What does it mean to you personally to have started off with, it seemed like, and I think I even called it in the first interview, it's like a crazy idea to go from that point of going, are you sure this is going to happen, to now? What does it mean to you personally that this has happened and we are shortlisted?
I mean, personally, I'm delighted that we're shortlisted because that's what we set out to do initially. I'm also delighted that the city of Stoke-on-Trent is now starting to be represented in the media in the way that you and I and many other people in this city know that we should be represented, and not in the way that historically we have done. And you mentioned about Abby. It was a crazy idea initially, but crazy ideas, once you start to sort of talk them through with other people, and you start to think, well, how can we make this happen, can become reality. And one of the things that you absolutely need behind something like a City of Culture bid is strong, effective leadership. And, when I first wrote the blog, which everybody keeps talking about now as being one of the pivotal moments in taking this forward, it was around the same time that we had a change in administration here in the city, And, Abby came to see me very, very, very early. She understood the significance of bidding for City of Culture. She then said, let's make this happen. We started having conversations under the radar and out of the sort of the public domain, because we had to get to a point where we knew we were sufficiently well developed. We had the partnerships and the infrastructure in place. We knew that we were in a position to take that to the City Council to get their backing. And once we knew that those elements were in place, then we could go public in a way that we hadn't been able to until now. So that's how you sort of move forward a crazy idea. And whilst, yes, personally I'm elated, I'm absolutely delighted that Stoke-on-Trent is on the shortlist. But I will keep coming back to, together we make the city is the vision for this City of Culture bid. And it's not Paul Williams' City of Culture bid, it's not Abby Brown's City of Culture bid, it's not the City Council's City of Culture bid. It's a City of Culture bid for the people of Stoke-on-Trent, by the people of Stoke-on-Trent.
I think I heard before we'll mention it, Radio Stoke, when the original post, I think people said you play it down very, very well. And I think you underestimate the importance of what you have done yourself, and I think you should take that and you should accept that just a tiny bit. But it is I think without, like you said, you and Abby at the forefront and pushing it on, we wouldn't get to this point. And I'd like to say thank you. I've said thank you in a text before for the start of that togetherness, and now the city has taken it, as you said before, and they've grasped it with both hands. And I think you mentioned before, it is now time to people back the city as well as backing the bid. We are proud of Stoke, and we are quick to point at people when they start to talk negatively about, well, hang on, and it's now to do that on a grander scale, but point out the positives and not the negatives. I think that's
and that's it. I mean, what we've done probably more than anything else is we've galvanised the city. We've brought people on board. The sense of ambition and belief and confidence and pride. People now have pride in Stoke-on-Trent. We have to acknowledge there are still some things that we have to address. There are challenges in this city, but they are no different to the challenges in any other city. What we perhaps don't give ourselves enough credit for is when we look around and we think, my goodness, what a fantastic city this is. This is a city that has grown up on the back of culture for nigh on 300 years. This is a city that exports its culture around all four corners of the globe. This is a city where people eat and drink from works of art made in this wonderful city. It's a city that's got wonderful contemporary art on the back of the work that Appetite and B-Arts have been doing. It's a city that's got great theatres and museums and galleries. It's a city, that we just should enjoy a little bit more, talk up a little bit more, believe in a little bit more, and I think that's what we've been able to do as part of the bid development process to date.
And that's stuff which is going to obviously push forward as well, along with many other things. To keep involved with the City of Culture bid, you can find them on Twitter and Facebook at SOT2021, and the website again, Paul?
www.sot2021.com.
Paul Williams, thank you very much. This is a song which I think sums up Stoke-on-Trent. It hasn't been played a while in 6 towns, so I just found it's there still. This is Shay with Oh Stoke.